I know Team League is such a big open right now. How many titles do you team?
Oh, so we have 9 teams that have qualified, and we have potentially 2 more to go. So they're still through qualification at the moment. But I think of all the teams that are here, we have the second most.
Are you confident to sleep great like in the club ladder?
The club ladder? I mean, I'm confident, but we'll see. You know, you have to think that you're going to win in order to win. So I think we're in a good spot, and I know our teams are ready to play and want to win.
How do you think Esports World Cup will help esports industry grow?
Yeah. I mean, I think the Esports World Cup is the first time that has brought together so many different games all in the same place. Like, I've been to League of Legends games, I've been to Counter-Strike games, I've been to Dota games, but I've never been to an event where every game is here all together at once. I think there's like 1,100 players that have all come around the world to compete in one place. That's never happened before. And so I think that's really cool. And there's a genuine interest from this region of the world to invest in the gaming and esports. And I think that's important for the industry to see. And especially at a time where esports winter kind of has happened, and a lot of the money that went into esports went into a bunch of different companies that never really built real businesses, you know, and we're in this period where we need to regrow and resurface. So I think it's coming at the right time, and I'm glad that you know, it's happening in a place where there's a lot of gamers. I think 70% of the population in Saudi Arabia is under the age of 35.
Did you go to Tokyo as a WCG?
No, I never made it to any WCG. That was a long time ago.
I wasn't involved in WCG at all, so this is kind of the first WCG.
Yeah, I think for sure. I think there's a lot more creativity with the broadcast. Like, you know, with LCS, some people thought that the broadcast started to feel too much of the same, you know? And so when you have third-party tournament organizers that do events, they are thinking creatively. They're like doing new stuff. They're pushing the boundaries of like entertainment and content. And so I think all that like works in favor of creating a really compelling and fun broadcast for fans.
So, I want to ask you said you've been visiting Saudi for a long time. So, how big is esports in Saudi?
You know, I'm not 100% sure, right? Like, I'm not native Saudi, but the research that we have done has shown that there is a lot of gamers in Saudi Arabia. The population of the region skews so young, and as you know, most younger individuals are going to have a higher predisposition towards gaming, and there is like a really big middle class in Saudi Arabia, and so there's a lot of folks with computers, with PlayStations and Xboxes, and internet is very available as well. So you put all these things together and you say, oh, well, gaming is probably a big thing. You know, it's kind of interesting. It's like some regions of the world that are really cold are a lot of gamers. Like if you think of like Norway and Sweden and like, you know, because it's so cold, they stay inside. Like even in the US, there's like a lot of gamers in Chicago because it's so cold. The opposite is also true. It is really hot here. So what do? You don't go outside. Like, you spend a lot of time gaming.
People stay stuck like 4 p.m. every day.
Yeah, exactly. Like everybody's just like sleeping and then staying inside, so that helps too. I missed it. I was on another work call. Yeah, I know. I mean, the thing is that there seems to be a lot of people outside and walking around, and this boulevard area kind of like feels like a little outdoor mall. You know, lots of people.
And I never seen
Yeah, no, in the States it's more like different entertainment altogether, like movies, and then like there's hockey or baseball or something, and restaurants, but there's nothing like really just gaming. Doesn't really exist that I'm aware of. You know? But I have started to see some gaming lounges at airports now. You know, like at the airport, there's like a whole area for gaming.
So, talking about states, we have to talk about LCS, right?
Yeah.
If you change shape by the right, do you think it's necessary to adopt the teams?
My point of view is the answer is yes. I do. I think Riot invested a lot of money and resources in building a huge global structure in a ton of different leagues. And I think they grew too big. And I think it was necessary for them to scale back so they could take care of the remaining leagues and the remaining partners. And I think while it's obviously difficult to lose so many organizations and teams, I think you need to do that in order to kind of regrow. There almost needs to be kind of like a pruning in order for, like just like a bonsai tree, you know, like you have to like kind of cut it in order for it to regrow. It's just like maintaining it a little bit, and I think that was necessary given the economic climate and you know what was happening across many developers. They needed to manage the business to be sustainable.
Everyone is changing that we can't really talk about the number of the
Riot makes the decision to do it. And you know, there are some teams in the league that might opt to receive a kind of refund of the franchise payment that they paid into, and they want to exit, you know. And so I think that that's okay. If like some teams want to opt out, you know. Like for Team Liquid though, we're in it for the long haul. Like we believe in the future of esports and the number of gamers, and so you know we're going to be around it through thick and thin. And I don't know how the LPL works, but for LCS, you know, we went from 10 teams, and then we went to 8 teams, and now we'll go to even less teams, and then we'll combine with South America and CDBall and LLA.
So, maybe I can ask a different question. Maybe everybody says they would like to lead that change. Do you think the change now is enough, or do they don't want them?
I think it's the right change. You know? I think it's the right change. I think you know, they needed to do enough that they could rebuild, at least in the LCS, CDBall, and LLA. You know, to combine that and follow a similar model to Valorant, I think is important. Like, look, the fact of the matter is that their business needs to be sustainable.
Yes.
They make a certain amount of money from selling skins. They then use a portion of that to market their game by promoting through esports. If the numbers don't align, they can't continue esports. So they have to right size in order for us to have a future that's sustainable. So for me, it is a necessary evil to the sustainability of esports and League of Legends. You know, and League of Legends as an esport continues to grow. Yes. I think the viewership last year was the highest it's ever been in history.
Yes.
So that's huge, you know. And then in addition to that, I think the change to the global revenue pool now includes the sale of digital goods, like the new Faker skin, right? And I don't know how, I have no idea how that did, but if it did really well, then that will benefit all the teams around the world.
I don't know if you have seen the news, they sell a lot of Faker skin on Douyin and China.
They have what?
Douyin TikTok channel.
Oh, okay.
Douyin, they had a live stream featuring Faker and other streamers.
Oh.
It's sold millions.
Oh, do you think the sales are good or bad, or you think they're good?
Everybody hates the price, but
I think they're still spending. Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, here's what I think. I think if you're not a gamer, you're going out to the club, you're going out to the bar, you're doing entertainment, you're spending a lot of money, right? But as a gamer, you don't spend much money.
Yeah.
So like, every now and again, you could be like, $500. Like, my friends are spending way more than that every month. So like, maybe I'll do a one-time splurge, you know?
So when did you guys decide to carry on?
I mean, Team Liquid is one of the largest, probably the largest esports organization in the world. We have won more tournaments, championships than any other team. We are the most watched esports team in the world. We have won more prize money than any other team in the world. We have, I think, the highest revenue of any other team in the world. And what was happening is last year was the first year where we weren't the most watched team. It was the first year. And we looked at why. And it was because we were not an MLBB. Because the viewership for Mobile Legends Bang Bang is right under League of Legends. Like, it is huge. And so for us to maintain being the most watched esports team in the world, we needed to get into MLBB. We could either go in and build our own infrastructure like we did in Brazil, but we started to look into acquiring an existing esports team, and we met the owners of Aura and Echo that operate in Indonesia and Philippines, and we really liked the management. Chris and Dan are excellent leaders, and they had built a big brand, a lot of following, competitive rosters. One of those rosters qualified here to the Esports World Cup and won in their region. So, we decided to acquire the organization and fold them into Team Liquid. And, with that acquisition, we are now, it's not even close. Like, we are the most watched esports team in the world by a big margin.
Can we expect Team Liquid to expand to more mobile esports titles?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think so.
Mobile esports is huge in China.
Yes, it's very, very big. And mobile gaming is on the rise.
Yes.
I mean, it's more accessible, it's easier to do,
yes.
And younger generation, they're gaming all the time on their phones. Devices are way more powerful than they used to be. Mobile gaming is a big part of the gaming, so we want to be part of it. Oh, okay.
Also say to some other.
I mean, we run a professional organization, right? Like, there's a lot of other esports teams that they cut corners, but we do the things the right way, even when it's hard. We are professionals, like, we're brand safe. We have high integrity for how we operate, and I think these things are qualities of a brand that give us sustainability, that give us staying power, right? Because there's going to be teams that are like popular one decade, but when you're popular, that means that at some point you won't be popular. They're like fads, things go in and out of style, and when you're a brand that is so attached to something that's just in flight and popular for a little bit, like, I don't think that's good. You want to be a brand that, like, has staying power, like Rolex, or like a Porsche or something like that. Yeah, sure. Yeah, last year we did 60 million in top line Reddit revenue, and we broke even. We didn't lose any money. This year, we have a little bit of the year to go, but we will be profitable this year, and at higher revenues, I hope. So yeah, we're a healthy business. We don't need to raise incremental capital to continue operations.
So what do you say to someone else getting quality and
I hired great people. Yeah, it's hard to find good people. It really is. And when you find very smart, passionate, highly skilled individuals that believe in what we can become at Team Liquid, and you empower them, they do great things. Whether you're in marketing or you're in finance or whatever skill set you bring, I think the people at Team Liquid are some of the best, like, most skilled people in esports. And I think that has given us the ability to stand out and drive higher revenue, do bigger things. And we've also been highly strategic. Like, we avoided getting into Overwatch League. We didn't do that. We avoided getting into Call of Duty League. These are wise decisions. If we went and did that, we would have lost money, right? And so I think we have the knowledge and the foresight and the strategy to make proper decisions as a business so that we are sustainable. We are our problem.
This is because that guys like you and you guys stick to okay, so with it now. Yeah, so to like your way is better.
Well, I mean, look, at some point, I hope that I can find someone that is even more passionate and even more skilled than I am to take Team Liquid to the next level. I have no ego in being a co-CEO. I feel like I'm going to be co-CEO of Team Liquid alongside Victor until I feel like, as long as I feel like I'm the best person for the job, right? If there's someone better, I'm all for it, to take Team Liquid to newer heights. But I will always be attached to Team Liquid, I'm a fan. I'm out there watching the games, cheering, screaming, and that will never, I will do that until the day I die, It's like, I love this organization. I love what we've built. I love our fan base. Like even if I'm not leading the company, I am going to be cheering for it,
A lot of our players, they are feeling they are so to get or cooperation and they hire some players from outside of
Well, a lot of that has to do with the structure of the board of a company.
Yeah.
So you can be owned by a private equity firm or institutional or whatever, but the composition of the board and the power of that board really dictates the future of that company, right? And so let's just assume we were owned by a venture capital group, right? But let's say Victor and I had super majority of the board. We could dictate the way that this company was run, even though we may be owned by another, venture capital group or private equity firm. So it's important that companies are structured in the right way, Another interview going on.
The gaming hub of all gamers, mobile gamers. Fantastic.